evening. My name is Nandita Ravishankar, and welcome to World News Tonight. This evening, we have our foreign correspondent, Nebiat Esmamau, back from Algeria. Algeria is currently in competition with several other African nations for a $10 billion grant from the Organization for African Unity. Concern for Algeria's long-term economic system has arisen as the country is heavily reliant on oil production. Poverty remains widespread, and unemployment is especially high among the youth. As of 2006, the youth unemployment rate was at 24.3%. Hydrocarbons had long been the backbone of the economy, accounting for roughly 60% of budget revenues, 30% of GDP, and 95% of export earnings. Algeria has the 10th largest reserves of natural gas in the world, and is the 6th largest gas exporter. It also ranks 16th in oil reserves. Strong revenues from hydrocarbon exports have brought Algeria relative macroeconomic stability. In addition, Algeria's external debt is extremely low, at about 2% of the GDP. However, Algeria has struggled to develop non-hydrocarbon industries as a result of heavy regulation and an emphasis on state-driven growth. Government efforts to lower high youth unemployment or to address housing shortages have had very little impact. A series of economic protests in February and March of 2011 provoked the Algerian government to offer more than $23 billion in public grants and retroactive salary and benefit increases. This action, however, continues to weigh on public finances. While the current Algerian economy is stable, long-term economic challenges include diversifying the economy away and decreasing its reliance on hydrocarbon exports, bolstering the private sector, attracting foreign investment, and providing adequate jobs for younger Algerians. And now, Nebiat, could you please shed some light on the subject?
Thank you, Nandita. For years, Algeria's GDP has been heavily dependent on oil and gas exports, but in recent years, due to the political riots and attacks on their plants, production has decreased, causing their economy to take a hit. Algeria brings in 60% of their GDP from industry, 30% in services, and just a mere 8% in agriculture. By diversifying their economy away from just energy production, they will be able to alleviate the decline in their economy as well as address a variety of other issues. If Algeria received a $10 billion grant, $4 billion will be allocated to improving the agriculture sector of the economy. Implementing programs to increase agricultural productivity would create opportunities for people living in rural areas to make an income and contribute to the economy. The money would go towards buying land, digging wells, the equipment that would be needed, and the money that would go in the salaries towards about 400 to 500 people. Building on that, $1 billion would go towards developing the roads and electricity. Electricity is most readily available to people living in urban areas. Power lines will be built to make electricity accessible to people living in rural areas. Currently, the roads are overcrowded with traffic because the majority of road systems aren't spread out to rural areas. Building more roads would create not only jobs, but it would also allow people living in rural areas to have access to urban areas and make travel safer and easier. What all the programs have in common is not only do they improve the underdeveloped parts of the country, but they also create jobs, which also stimulates the economy. Job creation is essential for the youth of Algeria, where unemployment is most predominant. With the remaining amount of money, $1.5 billion will be used to set up microloans for people. The money that will be paid back will be used for girls' education. There is a higher literacy rate for males than females. Another $1.5 billion will be put towards health issues like vaccines, health insurance, and travel sickness to be prevented. The last $2 billion will be used for safekeeping in case the need for a bailout occurs. The results of the competition will be in soon, and the Algerian people are hoping for the best. Nandita?
Thank you, Nebiat. We wish Algeria luck in the upcoming days. And that's all for tonight. I'm Nandita Ravishankar for World News Tonight, and we'll see you back here tomorrow evening. Good night.